Good afternoon, traders. It is Monday, October 12th, 2015, and the U.S. stock market is closed. I hope that bird will shut up enough so you can hear me. Anyway, we had a lousy day today, and I guess we got to expect that we're going to have lousy days, particularly after such a fantastic streak that we had last week. But it did surprise me a little. We dropped $11,000 in closed out trades that we closed out, and then we're carrying another negative $5,000 in open trade going into tomorrow. So that's getting into the area of severe losses, which I don't like to see. What was disturbing to me about it, I just couldn't quite figure out why this was happening when the overall market isn't indicating anything particularly worrisome today. This is the Dow. This is kind of interesting. We finally exposed our fourth red line up here. Now, just in terms of my own analysis, these four red lines here used to be the floor for the Dow when we were up in the stratosphere. And of course, we've had this major correction, and now these four lines are representing definitely a resistance area for the Dow. And today, you can see that resistance. The Dow came up here and bumped its head against that fourth red line twice and then pulled back. I want to see the Dow get through that line and reestablish these four red lines as the new floor. But it wasn't going to do it today. And I said, I think last week, I didn't think it was going to get through that line without pulling back some and getting a running start at it. Well, it didn't pull back today. Dow actually ended up closing up 47 points. So it continued its climb. I still look at this and I say this does indicate strength in the overall market. I would have expected maybe that it might bump its head and then really pull back hard. It did not. It came back, bumped its head again, pulled back just a little. It could conceivably get through that fourth red line tomorrow. We'll have to see. I'm just not sure, but it is encountering some resistance up here, and possibly it's because of this resistance we got just some lousy trades today. I don't know. I'm inclined to believe it's more just individual markets, but let's take a look at the problem stuff that we had today. This first one is in Advaxis, and this just was typical what happened this morning. On Friday we got into this thing. It closed just marginally profitable. It wasn't a good trade particularly, but then this morning it just crashes this first 45 minutes, and by the time we get out of that, we've lost $2,000. So that wasn't good, but this pattern repeated itself all throughout all the stocks we were trading. We really lost a lot of equity in just the first 40 minutes of the day. I'll show you another one here that was even worse. This actually was a worse trade today. This was Parker Drilling, and we had bought this on Friday on the top. Never a good trade. It closed against us, but it didn't close against us too bad, but this thing just down. It comes right after the open. We get out of that. We had a $5,000 loss, and it kept going. I mean, I'm glad we got out of it, but this thing was just crashing right after the open, and that happened with several of our markets, and that's why our losses were pretty severe today. Well, not everything was terrible. I'll show you the best thing we got into. This is Tantec, and we got into this late in the day. I couldn't believe the volatility in this thing. Even after we got into it, it was just up and down and up and down. I mean, look at this big spike here, and then followed by a low here. It did come back, settled off its high, but we're still holding over $2,000 in Tantec, so we just gotta hope that this is going to come through for us. Anyway, challenging day for a trader. That's about all I have to say. This is Trader Bob signing off. I'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday.